Hey, what's up? My name is Severman, and in today's video I'll be recreating the drop leads of my latest track Get Me Out, which dropped like 2 weeks ago on vibrato, in order to show you how to make an epic sounding progressive house lead from scratch. So if you don't know what the track sounds like, let's check it out. So this is what the drop sounds like, and as you can tell, we used a call and response type of technique with the leads and the plugs in the drop. However, for this video I'll be focusing on the leads, and now let me open up an instance of Spire because it's like my go-to plugin. But you can also do this now in Silent One or Serum or whatever plugin that you have. Like pretty much all of these VSTs have like the same function, so that's not really a problem. So this is like the first preset that opens up with Spire. And obviously I'll be doing this lead from scratch now. So let's take the init preset. We can do this here with Spire. So now we have a basic saw wave. Now just real quick, some sound design basics with Spire, like also with Sound 1, etc. You have 4 oscillators. So that means that you have 4 generators, and with each oscillator you can select a waveform. So here we have a saw wave already loaded in the first oscillator because that's the inner preset. And this type of wave is also what we're going to be using because, you know, usually you always have like a super saw for the leads in EDM in general. And for Get Me Out we used, I think, 3 layers, and the first one was like a mono-ish main layer, which was quite like punchy, and that's what I'll be starting with. So first of all, let's shape the envelope because this will make our sound plucky. So we have the envelope down here, and let's first of all just drag the sustain down. So now we have nothing, and let's start with the decay. Let's turn that up a little bit. And now we already have this plucky type of sound. And now let's add back in some sustain. Let's also raise the release a little bit to kind of make a longer fade out at the end of each note. Actually, let me play in the melody of Get Me Out real quick. So this is like the lead melody. In order to make this sound now a little more special, we can use a vibrato. So how does it work? You basically need to go to the LFO section of your synth. So in Spire we have that down here, LFO 1. And now we need to select the oscillator 1 pitch, like that. What you're gonna want to do now is you open up this knob right here. And now it sounds like that. So with this knob you can basically select the strength of this effect, and the timing, which is already set by Spire, is actually already correct, so we don't need to adjust this one right here. So if it's not like set accordingly in your synth right now, you just need to set it to like 1/4, and this like works pretty well with this type of synth that we're going for. So again, now it sounds like that with the melody. Maybe a little less. It already sounds quite nice. So this is sort of the main sound that I had for the leads. And now let's add in some supportive super saw layers in order to make them wide and big and like bridge. So let's open up the second oscillator. And now let's add in some more voices to this one. So we can do this here with Spire. I'm gonna set this one to 8 voices. And now I'm gonna open up like the wideness knob. In Silent 1, this would be like the retrig knob in order to make it wide. And now, of course, we also need to turn up the volume of this oscillator. Let's actually just turn them both up. Well, let's actually mute the first one now so that we only work with the second one. So here we already have a nice supersaw type of sound, but let's maybe turn up the density knob. Now let's mix them together, like let's adjust the volumes. Let's add in another oscillator, and I'm going to put that one up an octave. So let's go to oscillator 3, or let's actually just copy that one, paste it here. And now let's, put it 1 octave higher. Actually, let me mute these ones. So let's maybe play around with the detune again a bit. Maybe like that. Now let's mix them all together again. I think that sounds quite nice already, so let's check the track again, the original track. So you see, by using only 3 oscillators, a little bit of vibrato and some detune and wideness, you have already a really nice epic sounding lead. And there's like this goddamn fly here. So let's route this Spire now to a mixer channel in order to process the leads. So first of all, I think I'm gonna actually widen them up some more with a stereo enhancer. Kind of like that. Now let me open up an EQ. I think I'm gonna add in some more high end and higher mids. Now let's open up another EQ, and with this one I'm resetting the low and the high cut. So I always have my high cut at 16 kHz, and let's maybe roll them off a tiny bit. Then let's open up some reverb. What I always do with the reverb is I use it in combination with the P controller. So let's first of all open up the P controller, but I'm not gonna adjust this one now. I will first of all adjust the reverb. What I always do is I start with the low and the high cut. So in my reverb, I usually set the low cut to something in between 600 Hz and 1K Hertz. Something like that should be fine. And then with the high cut, I usually set it to 8K, 9K, 10K Hertz, something like that. Then I turn up the damping just slightly to like 5K Hertz. And then what's obviously really important for the reverb is the decay time. So I usually have that one set to something in between 3 and 5 seconds for the leads. So what I then do is I sort of route the wet signal to my P controller, but in an inverted way, so that the wet signal is being reduced whenever the leads are playing. And then when the leads stop playing, I want to have that wet signal up all the way. Like not all the way, but you know, I want to have it really going up. So let's right click on the wet signal, then let's click on link to controller. And now we need to select the P controller peak right here. And what's important is we need to set this one to inverted, because otherwise we will have wet signal when we also have dry signal, but we want the opposite. So we're just gonna accept that. Now, as you can see, it's reacting to its dry signal or to the P controller, but it's doing it in a way too crazy way right now. So let's open up the P controller again. What I usually do in here is I set the bass to 20%, because this will now keep the wet signal at 100% max, so it won't go over the initial 100%. And now in order to make it a duck less, because as you can see it's going down all the way now, we need to decrease the volume knob a little bit. And that's pretty much it with this lead now. So let's check again the original track. There you go, you have a really nice, epic Matisse Sadko Spire lead. And all we did was we used 3 oscillators in Spire and a little bit of processing with stock plugins from FL Studio. So that's it. So I hope you learned something. If you did so, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Make sure to leave a comment with your feedback, subscribe if you haven't, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.